On this episode of Nerds to Men, we rank our top 5 Wolverine appearances in the X-Men films. We preview Marvel's Last Defender, Iron Fist, that's coming out on Netflix. And we have an encore interview with Simone Missick, who plays Misty Knight on Luke Cage. All that and more on...
Welcome to this episode of Nerds to Men. I am Brad Reed. I got Gog here.
What's up?
I got Cameo.
Deuces.
And we're back. Actually, we've been on a schedule where we do this every 2 weeks, but we came back this week because we did the show last week. It was mostly about Logan. And we had a few more thoughts that kind of like came to us after the show that we kind of, that was the first reaction.
Yeah.
Now we've let it marinate a little bit, and so we wanted to kind of talk about a few things.
Yeah.
First off, I want to ask you and the people in our chat, if you saw Logan, and we did you cry? A lot of people are saying that it brought them to tears.
Yes.
It did.
Yes. I didn't cry.
I cried.
I didn't cry either. I don't know if it's just because I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
You have no heart?
Yeah, or if... the things that happened, I already knew was going to happen. I wasn't really surprised. Spoilers. Give them a quick second to turn off. I knew that Logan and Professor X were probably going to die.
Yeah.
I mean, they're billing this as the last time Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine, so it didn't surprise me at all when they died. Now, It was emotional when they died, and the way they did it was beautifully done, but I didn't cry. It didn't bring me to tears.
Well, I think it was just the whole simple fact that this character, Hugh Jackman, playing Logan, has been here since the year 2000.
Right.
And it's kind of sad seeing something that you've grown up with.
I know, yeah.
And it's just like, it's done. It's no more.
It really surprised me. Like, I did not stop to think about that it's been 17 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
One of my sons just turned 18. So he was a year old when Hugh Jackman became the Wolverine. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
We've talked a lot about if they could replace Hugh Jackman because he's been so quintessential to the part of Wolverine. I think they can. I think they should at some point because I want to keep seeing the franchise. And I wouldn't mind seeing a Wolverine kind of closer to what we saw, with the suit and stuff like that. I was thinking of different names. Tom Hardy. Of course, Tom Hardy gets mentioned for everything.
Yeah.
I saw Jake Gyllenhaal, which he also gets mentioned for everything. And I don't see that.
I could see it.
Clint Eastwood was kind of possibly, but I don't know. I just don't see.
Clint Eastwood or Scott Eastwood?
Scott Eastwood.
Okay, I was saying.
Old Man Logan?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood for Old Man Logan.
Extra old
That
man.
actually might be kind of cool. Grandpa Logan.
Yeah.
Have you seen him in Gran Torino?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I'm sorry. Because he would remind me of Patrick Stewart as Xavier. But he was like, you going to leave me here with this albino? Like, I could totally see him saying something off the wall.
Yeah, we won't be quoting any Gran Torino on this show.
Yeah, it's best that we don't.
Yeah.
There's just Taco Bell chalupa with the cheese baked right into the crust.
I didn't know this. I read this today, too, when I was kind of looking at other names people have thrown out there. Mm-hmm. Did you know that Russell Crowe was intended for the part and he turned it down and said, get Hugh Jackman?
Did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think would have happened if we had a Russell Crowe? Yeah.
I don't think I would like it.
I don't think so.
He
either.
wouldn't have been in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 movies.
Right.
That's for sure. I don't know, man. It'd be hard to replace him.
It would be hard. And the thing is like I've said, I don't know that I've ever, like, when they first cast him, I was kind of like, well, he's a little too tall.
Yeah.
But he's a great actor. I mean, and he's done such a great job. It's going to be hard to replace him. I think what would happen, probably mentioned this before, but I think what will end up happening is we'll get some unknown, like we've got with, and not all of the people in the X-Men Apocalypse and Days of Future Past. I like the way they've cast these, and not all of them were unknowns, but probably ones that you wouldn't have just immediately thought.
Yeah.
Jean Grey.
Famke Janssen. Talking about her? That one?
No. Sophia Turner, is that her?
Yeah.
I knew her from Game of Thrones, which comes back in July. Woohoo!
Real quick. Did you watch the Facebook Live video?
No.
Where it was like a huge chunk of ice that they just had setting in front of the camera, and then once it melted away, it had the release date.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I posted that the release date. Was that like a video?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was. I thought it was just a picture. Candy Brown says it's so dark and so sad she wanted to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was emotional.
It was. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm a big sap for my superheroes. 17 years in one role is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then just to see them go. It's like seeing one of like your like a family member die.
Looking at some like X-Men Origins Wolverine. Do you think they intended to do other X-Men Origins movies?
Yes.
And then just was like, well, we'll just stick to Wolverine because that's what people love.
Yeah.
Well, they were supposed to.
Because they're going to do a Magneto one, weren't they?
They were supposed to do Gambit, and we don't have a Gambit now.
I hear it's back on. Channing Tatum.
Really? Who's doing it? Do you know?
I don't. I don't. But I'm excited about that.
Well, I need to hurry up.
Tatum, Channing.
Because Gambit and Wolverine were always my favorites.
They were the outcasts of the
That's
group.
why they were so fun.
And Rogue. I liked Rogue.
Bad boys.
Yeah. I didn't like, what's her name?
Jubilee.
No, the rogue that was in the movies. Gosh, I can't remember her name. Sookie from True Blood.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
Oh gosh, why am I blanking on her name too? But yeah.
She didn't really portray Rogue to me.
She was okay, but yeah, I could see that. I wanted to rank. Actually, I'm just going to give the top 5. Let me start. I'll give you all the list of all the movies that Wolverine has appeared in, which is every one of them in some sort of fashion. Yeah. But a couple of them, he just had a little bit of a scene, not much. So he started off with X-Men in 2000. Then we had X-Men 2, X-Men The Last Stand, which to me, if I could just pretend like X-Men The Last Stand never happened.
Well, technically, it didn't happen if you go back and look at it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you go back to Days of Future Past, that didn't ever happen.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
I think that in that movie, they weren't sure where they were going in the future. And X-Men Origins, Wolverine, the first time we got to see him in his solo movie, that was in 2009. X-Men First Class, 2011. The Wolverine, 2013. X-Men Days of Future Past 2014, X-Men Apocalypse 2016, and then, of course, Logan. So, you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
We'll just go down the line.
Number one, I am probably going to guess that all of our number one is the same, and I'm going to say Logan.
I just copied Brad's.
Number two, I don't know. I just love this. I like this movie so much, and I don't know. X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yep.
Yeah. Then I went 3, X-Men Origins Wolverine, which there was a lot of problems with that movie, but I dug it. I thought it was okay. Then at number 4, I've got X-Men, the first one, because, I mean, that was the first time we got to see him, and there's a lot of great lines from him, and I like that movie. And then 5, the Wolverine. And the Wolverine, I don't know. I could bump that easily.
Yeah.
Because it's not my favorite. That's why it's at number 5. I almost liked his appearance in X-Men Apocalypse more.
Yeah.
For like the 2 seconds he was on.
Yeah.
You got the cool headgear.
The headset. Yeah. The whole like beginning.
Yeah. So that's my list. Like I said, of course, Logan being number 1, because it was a culmination of all of this, 17 years. But it just, I don't know. I don't know if they just learned all these lessons, and so that's why that's the best one. I think that's probably it.
I feel like from X-Men Origins Wolverine, like you said, they didn't know what they were doing right then and there, and then they kind of knew what they were doing with the Wolverine, and then something snapped right at the end of that, and they were like, okay, Logan is going to be the bee's knees.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but the X-Men Origins Wolverine, they still don't hold a candle to Logan, though.
Oh, no. And it was kind of funny that this is a sequel that is better than the prequels.
Yeah.
Sometimes the second movie is better than the first and the third.
Yeah.
But the third is way better than the first and the second.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think, is there any movies that I could think of that's kind of like that? Because, like, The Godfather got worse as it went on.
Boondock Saints 2 was terrible.
Right. Well, I'm trying to think. Well, I mean, The Dark Knight was better than the first one.
Yeah.
That's because it was Joker, though.
Well,
Joker was in it,
Yeah. I dig it. I think that they knocked it out of the park. I'd like to see Cable rescue Logan so that we can maybe bring Hugh Jackman back.
Yeah, that would be dope.
I would
like
cool.
that.
Because, I mean, he said he's done, but never say never, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Gog. We'll just go to the right. Gog, you give us your list.
Number 1, Logan.
Yes.
Number 2, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay.
I don't know. I just really enjoyed that movie. I don't have to justify myself.
You don't. What did you think about like the whole story with him? And it wasn't his brother, right? But it was
Sabretooth?
Yeah, it's like a brother-like character.
Yeah, I think he was his brother, though, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so, too. But
I don't think he was.
No, I was saying he wasn't. I thought he was, too.
No, because whenever, spoiler alert, X-Men Origins, whenever they're as a kid, he kills his dad. But what's his name?
Oh, they're just like buddies.
Yeah.
Liev Schreiber?
Yeah, Liev Schreiber. His character was, just by his bedside as a friend. So, yeah.
When I watched it, I thought they were brothers for some reason. So,
but because he mentioned, he was like, they acted like brothers. They did everything together.
So what I didn't like about that movie was that I just didn't like that Sabretooth is all of a sudden his brother. Or brother-esque. So that kind of turned me off, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie. All right, go ahead, Gog. Sorry.
Number 3, I put the first X-Men movie just because it was the first X-Men movie, and I had dreams as a child about a live-action X-Men movie. So
yeah.
Just the experience of actually getting to see that happen was exhilarating.
When you actually saw it, were you thrilled, let down?
Oh, heck yes.
I loved it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in retrospect, looking back, there definitely have been better movies, X-Men movies made. But for the time when it came out, like, I think they did a lot of really good job with it, and it was cool. And then, let's see, 4, X-Men Days of Future Past.
Good movie, I think.
And I put 5. I know it was only a small part. I put X-Men Apocalypse only because it was cool to see him.
Yeah.
And because I used to have the toy. Whenever I was a kid, I had the toy of him in the Weapon X gear. And it was kind of silly looking, but
it
was still cool.
Yeah, it was cool to see. Fans of Wolverine were definitely like, sweet.
Yeah. And he just runs away.
Yeah.
All right, Cameo, let's hear yours.
Okay, mine is probably going to be way, way different than all of y'all's.
Okay.
Except for the number 1 spot.
But that's good, right?
That's
why you're on the show.
Differences of opinions.
But I'm going to start from the bottom because now we're here.
Right on, Drake.
I like your style.
No, at number 5, I put X-Men, the first one. Number 4, X-Men 2. 3, The Wolverine.
Okay.
2, Days of Future Past. And then 1, obviously, Logan.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So, any of those that you were just totally disappointed with? Like,
other than X-Men Last Stand, I would say X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, we liked Apocalypse when we first saw it. Upon viewing it a couple more times, I think it was one of those things in the theater. It was kind of cool, and then once you watched it a few more times, you're like,
yeah. Because I mean,
there's really cool things about it. The Quicksilver scene, I still think is dope.
Yeah, that's probably like the best like speedster scene ever made.
yeah. Until the Flash comes out. But
yeah, if it comes out.
Yeah. That's where I was on Apocalypse. I still liked it.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it, but it was kind of like, as a superhero movie, it was good.
Right.
But as like something, it kind of almost left me empty inside because I feel like they did Apocalypse dirty.
Yeah.
Like, it was too easy for them to beat him up.
Right.
And like, I didn't like that. Like, I know Phoenix is one of the strongest forces, but I mean, they still had some like trouble beating up on Apocalypse. I
mean, it had a lot of style.
Yeah.
And like I say, which I think maybe that's why the theater experience might have been better for us. I don't know.
And it's kind of funny too. Like, you almost see like the attraction between Jean Grey and Wolverine in that scene wherever he's about to like leave, run off into the snow,
right?
Like, you kind of see that love attraction, and it's kind of weird because Wolverine is like probably like 40 and she's like 17,
right? Well, he's not 40; he's like 200 and something years old.
Yeah. That is true.
I don't know where he was at that time. But yeah. Let me ask you this. X-Men The Last Stand, to me, is the worst.
Oh, yeah. By all means, yes.
And not necessarily his appearance, but just the worst of them.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, before Civil War came out, and I know this is Fox, not Marvel, but I mean, we were talking about Marvel characters. So right before Civil War came out, I watched like every movie there was. And I went to the store, and they had all the X-Men movies, I think up until Days of Future Past, on one disc for like $20, Blu-ray. And I was like, gotta have it.
Nice.
Gotta have it. So I did. And I rewatched them all. And some of the things I had forgot, but like I said, when I got to Last Stand, I was like, what?
Did you watch it in order?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like in like actual order. So you watch X-Men Origins first?
Right.
And then you went to X-Men
2. Yeah.
No, X-Men, then X-Men 2. Because X-Men Origins, Wolverine. That's the first one, technically.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
In like real order.
No, I watched them in order of release, not in order of where they would have gone timeline-wise.
Gotcha.
Right. I asked Buck Berlin over at New World Comics to give me some of his top appearances of Wolverine in the comics.
Yeah.
And I want to read you what he said.
He's the expert, so you definitely want to take his opinions and thoughts and ideas into consideration.
Yeah. I wish he was here, but I'll read these comments to you because it was pretty good. His astonishing X-Men stuff when the title launched. That was one of his favorites. We got the very best and worst of Wolverine. His lines like, if the answer to that question isn't beer, then I ain't interested. And expressing
I'll drink to that.
Yeah. And expressing his disdain for the spandex uniforms is great, which we saw that play out in the
X-Men,
movies. Yeah. And when he is made to believe that he is a little girl is also awesome. I'd say my next would be X-Men 133, where Wolverine takes on the Hellfire Club. And at the time, everyone thought he actually died. So him coming back was a huge comic moment at the time. And he said the last great Wolverine moment was in Avengers when Norman Osborn's henchman shot off his junk and knocked him out. He woke up, drank beer until everything healed, all the while maintaining his rage to a low roar. I mean, which is hard when your junk gets shot off.
I hate it when that happens.
I assume.
I wonder if if his growl was like higher pitch. Because you know when you get like get kicked in the spot.
All right. He said, after everything was healed, he went after everyone with everything on display to further terrify
so
everyone.
he was naked?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's awesome.
And he said, you should also talk about the worst of Wolverine, like when he fooled everyone into thinking he was dead by just wearing an eye patch. Or when he was experimented on and didn't have a nose briefly. It came back with no explanation, by the way.
Okay.
He says, and some of his...
Nobody knows.
Yeah. Where's the crickets? And some of his awful bad guys, like Albert, his screwed up part clone, part cyborg, part some other guy, and his sidekick, LCD, the exploding robot little girl. So that's the best and worst of Wolverine, according to Buck Berlin at New World Comics.
I like that.
Comics.
Like, I wish I was that in depth with the comics.
I do too. I mean, I read, but I would have to say that I'm still more casually into it because I just wish I had a lot more time to read it. And sometimes I go where like I read all the time and I can't read enough. And then sometimes I'm like, I just need a break from reading.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to be more knowledgeable about some of the comic stories and the arcs over the years. I read, I'll get online and I'll be like, what's the best one to read or whatever, and I'll read it and stuff like that. But
you know, like the ongoing series of Old Man Logan is pretty good.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I'm digging that one a lot.
I do too. We do want to hear your list though of where you want to rank Wolverine's appearances in the movies or in the comics. I want to hear about it all. So go to the Facebook page and let us know. Comment on it and let us know.
Tell us what you think.
All right, let's talk about Iron Fist a little bit because it's coming up March 17th on Netflix. The show follows Danny Rand, who is played by Finn Jones. And tell me if this premise sounds familiar. A rich kid who returns to his hometown of New York. Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah. After being missing, presumed dead, for years, now touting expert kung fu skills and the ability to call on the mystical powers of the Iron Fist, which makes his fist...
Damien Dark.
Really strong. Yeah. So, you know, you see it all the time. Marvel, DC, they've got like... parallel characters. I think they were just competing. So this show, Iron Fist, on Netflix, it's the 4th final installment in the superhero stories that we've seen. Of course, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and then they're all going to come together to form the super team, the Defenders.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
They're gonna be like Power Rangers when they put all the Megazords together.
yeah.
They
That'd be dope.
They all just meld into one entity.
I'd like to meld with Jessica Jones into one entity.
Oh,
I hope my wife isn't watching.
you're in trouble.
But the reason we're kind of talking about this is because everybody's been super excited for all these other shows, and then this one is kind of getting knocked
hated
around.
on.
Yeah, there's a few reasons too. I've read just that it's kind of like the first 6 episodes, it's just kind of listless. It doesn't really set up a whole lot. I think there's 12, 13 episodes. So you have to wait about 6 episodes before it really gets good. And they say that that's when Reza.
Yeah, RZA.
Yeah, Reza.
Oh my lord!
Well, how do you pronounce 3 letters? Okay.
Like RZA?
I could say Reza. I don't think there's any wrong way to say it. No. RZA, though, from the
RZA.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with.
He directed it.
That was the
Yeah.
Ain't nothing.
It ain't mess.
It's another 4-letter word.
Yeah.
Nothing to stuff with.
They're bringing the ruckus. He directed that one, and apparently that's when the series kind of kicks off. So there's some complaints that it takes a little while for it to get going, and there's the complaints of the obvious that it's really derivative of like Arrow and Batman. Mm-hmm. And then we have one that it's a little bit of a criticism that I'm not so sure. I just don't know if I agree with it. Let me read you this from Maureen Ryan of Variety, okay? And she says, why couldn't Henwick be the star of Iron Fist or another actor of Asian descent? After all, part of what made Jessica Jones and Luke Cage stand out were the distinct identities and concerns their protagonists carried into battle. Imagine an Iron Fist in which an Asian character with a great deal of presence and real fighting chops, which Jones lacks, plays a man trying to reclaim his business empire. So the criticism is that they cast a Caucasian actor instead of possibly Asian or whatnot, but I don't understand. Most of the time I do. If you wanted to say that the Scarlett Johansson thing was whitewashing when that wasn't historically a white character, I can totally see that point. But Iron Fist was a white character in the source material.
Yeah.
So I'm not really, I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me. What do you think? You tell me.
I could give 2 craps about it.
Yeah.
My whole deal is if they are staying true to, the comic books, then okay, then that's cool. If Danny Rand was a real person and he was of Asian descent and they made a movie about him and they put a white person in it, I'd be mad about that.
Right.
But the thing is, this is a fictional character. Who cares? Just like Joseph Fiennes, who was in that British comedy about that he was playing Michael Jackson. That was like the biggest mistake. And they played 1 episode and they cut it off because it was that bad.
Yeah. And Joseph Fiennes is a great actor.
Yeah, but
that is not the character that we want to see him.
No.
Yeah. So let's just say this. Okay. Let's just say Finn Jones and Idris Elba were up for the part.
I'd pick Idris Elba.
I would too. And if they said, we'll just go with Finn Jones simply because he's white and the character was always white, then I'd be like, mistake. That's a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you go with the best actor, in my opinion.
I don't see why they didn't get the one chick who was in Hitman, the first one. I can't ever remember her name. But she is Russian, I believe.
Right.
And she could have played Black Widow because Natasha Romanoff. Hello, that's Russian.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
So that's a concern for people. I get it. I'm not saying that people shouldn't have their concerns. I just don't see this one. I really don't.
Yeah.
The action scenes are not as good, according to Alan Sepinwall of Up Rocks. He says the action scenes throughout the first 6 episodes are few and far between, and when they come, they're filmed and edited in a manner where it becomes hard to tell what Danny is doing or if he's remotely the brilliant fighter he's being sold as. The first few fights have all the actors, Jones in particular, moving so slowly and tentatively, it feels like they filmed the first rehearsal and moved on. So I'm going to watch the show because I've loved all the Marvel shows so far on Netflix, but this could be the first dud.
It could be.
And they're due. I mean, you're kind of due one, you know. I'm sure that we've had a dud on a show or something. Not, I really don't, but
all of our shows are
I'm
gold.
Hilarious 100% of the time.
Yeah, but just like in the X-Men movies, when you're making these movies for 17 years, some of them are bound to not be as good.
Last Stand.
Yeah. So this might be the one, and it might also be like, hey, let's just get this one out so we can get to the Defenders.
Yeah, that is true.
And if that's the case, though, I don't know. You're only as good as your last offering, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I mean, again, like this whole thing of them trying to get a Asian character, and at the very beginning of our Nerds to Men deal, I even said that I would love to see Donnie Yen as Danny Rand. But that's just me, because I love Donnie Yen's action sequences in all of his movies. If you have not seen Ip Man, go check it out. If you've not seen Legend of the Fist, you need to go check that movie out. That movie is bad, like bad as in good. The fight scenes are awesome.
If they had cast an Asian person in this role, man or woman, I just really wouldn't care.
I don't care
it wouldn't
either
bother
way.
me if it was good.
I don't care either way. But see, my whole deal is okay, they picked Danny Rand as a white character. Okay, let's roll with it. And then like Susanna Polo from Polygon says, let me be clear, Iron Fist's problems with its portrayal of Asian cultures and Asian Americans are embedded throughout every episode. Now, I haven't seen any episodes yet, so I don't know what she's talking about.
And it may be a lot more clear to us where these people are coming from once we actually see it.
Yeah.
But I did read something about appropriation, but the martial arts, I mean, it's so worldwide now.
Yeah, and you know what?
So worldwide.
I'm in this Facebook group, and it's like we talk about nerdy stuff all the time there. And there's like these probably 20 black dudes in the Shaolin monk deal, and they're learning martial arts.
Right.
So I mean, it's just like I said, or like we said, we would choose Idris Elba if that was the case. Like I would love to see that
in every movie and every show.
Heck yes.
I want to ask the whitest guy on the show what he thinks, and he said nothing.
Huh? I don't have an opinion.
You're going to watch it, though, right?
Yes, I'm excited about it. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll reserve my judgment until after.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This harkens back to the Doctor Strange.
This reviewer says a solid entry into Marvel's lineup of Defenders.
Right.
So
they're not all bad reviews.
Variants of opinions. So,
but going back to the Doctor Strange, the ancient one, I can see the criticism there.
Yeah. Well, because even in the comics, the one that you let me read of yours, The Oath, the ancient one, I mean, from what it looked like, was an old Asian man.
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, if they didn't want to use that for that reason, then so be it.
Right.
But like I've heard also, there's like different people as the ancient one.
Yes, there was.
So
they can explain it that way. It doesn't necessarily mean that they did the right thing, but they can explain it that way.
Yeah.
If your point is just that they could have taken the opportunity to recast it as anyone else, then okay, that's fine. I don't have any criticism with your criticism.
Right.
I just don't see it in this case.
Yeah. And
that's all I'm saying.
That was like the same thing too when there was rumors going around that Zendaya was going to be playing Mary Jane.
Right.
Who cares if she's, you know what? She's half white.
Yeah. I was down.
I was down too.
That's still happening, right?
No, she's not Mary Jane. She's some other person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. So, Gog, you heard a little bit of news about the upcoming Batman movie since the last time we talked.
Yeah, you know me. I always got Batman on the brain.
Yeah.
So, Joe Manganiello, is saying that production is due to start in potentially May or June. That was, I think, what he originally said, and then was saying that now it might be a little bit later.
Right on.
But the reason that it's going to start this year, but they're taking their time with it. He said that people involved in the creative process are taking their time to make sure that this movie is legendary.
Right.
And
That-
it should be.
That is exciting.
That is exciting. Like, if it takes 2 years to make, then so be it.
Yes. Yeah.
And then speaking of Joe Manganiello, friend of the show,
Manganiello.
he might not know us, but
I'm a number one guy.
I had also seen him as a potential candidate for Wolverine, which he's way too tall, though.
Well, yeah.
And jacked, and although because Wolverine to me was always just a squatty.
Yeah,
Squatty guy.
because Sabretooth always called.
I'm the perfect Wolverine. I'm telling you,
You're not that small.
My hair's all Wolverine,
But you're not small. You're not.
What does that mean? I'm
You're
not small.
I'm small.
Well, Wolverine wasn't like thin. He was
No, I'm not talking about
just
weight.
tall. Oh,
Like,
you think I'm tall?
Yeah, you're tall.
Well, I think
Like-
Joe Manganiello's got a few more inches on me.
Well, because it's like,
in all areas.
oh. No,
I've been watching Magic Mike again.
that's what he was doing last night.
Yeah.
No, I'm not an actor by any means, but I would play a good Wolverine just because of my stature.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because Liev Schreiber is probably like 6'3", 6'4", Joe Manganiello, whatever, Mangello.
Yeah, this Joe Manganiello. We've already established this.
But like if he was Sabretooth and I was Wolverine, that would be a perfect fit.
That would be. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Because I was waiting for Sabretooth to call Wolverine Runt because that was his nickname for him in the comics, in the cartoon show, all that.
I think some of the reason people were mentioning Joe Manganiello was because he was a werewolf in True Blood.
Oh.
So Werewolverine.
Werewolverine. Werewolverine.
But like I said, I could almost see him. But you know what he should do? But we'll never see that because he's Deathstroke. But
Yeah.
he should get like his knees capped. Like he should get the legs taken out of the
his
knees.
legs and his arms.
So
taken off.
yeah,
Like
that way
the
he's a lot-
dad from King of the Hill.
Yeah. Well, he didn't do that electively. I think
that was because of the war.
off.
Yeah. Dang.
No,
Hey, Brad Reed, let's hear your best Bobby Hill impression.
I don't know. I don't think I can do one. That almost sounded like a little bit with Cartman. Yeah.
You guys.
I don't really do a Bobby Hill. Bobby Hill's kind of hard. I don't
It's
know
the
why.
hardest impression of all time.
I really don't know why. It seems like it'd be easy just to be, but I just don't pull it off.
No, it was a lady that did his voice.
We're gonna wrap it up. I think we're good.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Follow us on Facebook or at Nerds to Men on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube or Spreaker.
Give me all your dollars. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We have a website, nerds2men.com. That's nerds with a Z, the number 2, men.com.
Yep.
And we put all of our shows up there too. So
We put pictures of ourselves in lingerie.
Yeah.
I just got something cute.
Did you
last
upload
night.
something I didn't know about?
Maybe.
I like it. We are going to replay. We have an encore interview because Misty Knight.
Yes, has a thing with Danny Rand.
Yes, and she was in Luke Cage, played by Simone Missick.
You know what? I just realized.
What's that?
If this also happened in the comic books, Luke Cage and Danny Rand are Eskimo brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't we all?
It's a small world after all.
Keeping with the Marvel Disney theme.
Yeah.
But Simone Missick, you sat down and talked to her back when Luke Cage was about to come out.
Yeah.
And so we thought we would go ahead and let you hear that again in preparation for Iron Fist next weekend.
Yep.
Until then, we're the Nerds to Men.
We out.
Have a great one.
We out.
Keep it nerdy.
Let's welcome Simone Missick to Nerds to Men.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing, Simone?
Good. How are you?
I am ecstatic because I am talking to you right now. I love the show Luke Cage. I love it so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate y'all making this show. It is so amazing how how you all brought it to life from paper.
Yeah, it was a labor of love. We had a lot of great writers and musicians who added that musical element to the show, and then the actors who all just came ready to play. And we've got just an amazing cast and crew who just really wanted to make this show the best show possible, and I hope we did it justice.
Oh, I think by far out of all the Marvel Netflix shows, this is the best one.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem.
Not a competition. Not a competition.
Well, it is with me. I'm just saying. Luke Cage is probably one of my favorite Marvel characters, and especially after this, he's like my all-top favorite.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, you don't really see bulletproof men walking around Harlem, you know, getting ladies and saying cool phrases and then kicking butt.
Right. So I got to ask you, did you read up on Misty Knight in the comics, or were you just do a little Wikipedia type stuff?
I only had time to do the Wikipedia type stuff. And mainly because, you know, we shot so quickly after I got the job. I think it was like maybe a week. But then, you know, I also had Jeff Loeb, who's the head of Marvel, who said, do not go out and buy a comic book because then everyone will know that it's you. And so he had me terrified. Luckily, all of our writers, they, you know, really consulted the source material. They're all huge comic book fans. And so they did, you know, the heavy lifting for me.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And that one scene where you're trying to get info, I think it was right before I forgot one of the kids that set up...
basketball scene.
Yes, the basketball scene. Oh, my Lord. I was like, I wonder how many times y'all shot that, because, you know, I play basketball. I'm not good at it, but like I have a good day and off days. And reading your bio, you were in the varsity team.
Yeah, I played varsity basketball. I played basketball since I was like in the 3rd grade, which obviously was a really long time ago. But you never lose those skills, and that day was a good day. I think that was the first shot that they shot. You know, I nailed it, and we had to take it about maybe 25 times, and I think I hit about 20 out of 25, but it was hilarious because, you know, the other guys on set who work crew were like, oh, something can't be. How is she doing this? And so they kept trying to, like, you know, shoot around during the breaks, and they were bricking it. I was like, guys, but I'm better than you. It's okay.
Right? That was awesome, though. But, man, was the reaction time of their faces whenever you made that, was it like that on set?
Oh, my goodness. It was the best because no one knew going into it that I could play. And so literally they're all like, okay, well, you know, just go out there and make it look believable. You know, They had no idea. They thought they were going to have to bring the stunt double on and do something else. And so after they got cut, after that first take, everybody just really started screaming at the top of their lungs like, oh, my God, I can't believe you made that.
That's awesome. I got to ask you this, too. The whole coffee, that running joke throughout the whole series, who came up with that?
Oh, that's all the credit of our writers. That's all them. I wish I had come up with that. I would have trademarked it by now. Got a whole line of T-shirts and a coffee line, and got a special drink made at Starbucks. But no, that was all them.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I was wondering if that was like ad lib or something. But I love that. Like I say that all the time now. Thanks to you guys.
Let's go. Hey, girl, let's go get some coffee.
Right. So since you played Misty Knight and you haven't really read anything, did you know that Misty and Iron Fist are a thing in the comics?
Yeah, I did know that. I know that they were the first interracial couple in comic books, which I think is pretty dang on cool.
Yeah.
Back then in the 70s. But yeah, I know that they have a romance that develops, and you know, we'll see what happens as we move forward on the show and in the upcoming shows. You know, if we get a second season, who knows if that will be a part of it. But
y'all broke
really
the internet.
Yeah, you know, you would think, but we still don't. We don't have confirmation yet.
Oh, come on. You got to have some type of confirmation.
No, they just say, be ready.
Okay, well, but yeah, I love it because being biracial myself, I am digging all of the like biracial loves that's going on TV right now. Like, I mean, I know this is DC, but they have, you know, Supergirl and Jimmy Olsen. They have the Flash and Iris, who's all biracial, and it's just I'm digging it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's representative of our world.
Yep.
We're in a world that is very culturally mixed, and people don't, you know, only judge one another by their color. You know, love is love.
Yeah.
And I think especially now in a time where we see a lot of separatism going on and a lot of people trying to take back to their own corners and separate themselves, I think it's cool to just see on TV where it's reflected, especially for the kids that are growing up, that, you know, it's okay that they are who they are, or that they like who they like, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's really good. And did y'all shoot all in Harlem, or was it like offset somewhere else, or?
We shot a lot in Harlem, like all of the outdoor scenes that you see that are of Harlem are not cheated. But then we also had stages in Brooklyn where we shot, you know, the big, like the most of the precinct stuff took place on the stage, and you know, all the stuff outside took place in Harlem, which was great.
Yeah, that was awesome, because I lived in Harlem for a while, and seeing it on TV and beautified, I mean, that like brought tears to my eyes, but it was tears of joy. Like I miss Harlem, and when they were doing still shots of like different parts of Harlem, like I was there, I've been there. It's so beautiful. I love seeing it on TV.
Yeah, Harlem is definitely another character on this show, which you never see. You know, a lot of times you'll see, you know, I'm from Detroit, and when we see Detroit, people are like, oh, I shot it in Detroit, and it's somewhere in Boston. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't get the feel of the actual place where you're shooting, and so I think it's great that we actually got to shoot Harlem for Harlem.
Yeah, sweet. That's awesome. And are you going to be in the Iron Fist series? Are you going to make a cameo appearance?
I can neither confirm nor deny whether that happened.
Oh.
No. I wish I could tell you guys, but I can't.
You hurt my heart.
You'll just have to tune in and see.
Oh, well, you already know I'm going to. Sweet. Also, do you have, you want to let people know where they can find you? You have social media?
Yeah, at Simone Missick, and that's on Instagram and Twitter. It's SimoneMissick.
Awesome. Well, Simone, thank you so much. Thanks you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I'm going to see you in Iron Fist, because I have a feeling that you're going to be in it. So
you're going to put it out there.
I'm going to put it out there myself, since I have no say in anything that happens over there in Marvel.
Well, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And I am basically going to rewatch Luke Cage right now. So thank you so much for that.
All right. Let's do it.
Have a good one.
You too.
Will do. Bye-bye.